Hey, it's Tina with Blue Flame International, coming to you again this week with another prophetic release. As I was praying and asking the Lord what to release this week, this is what He has given me. It comes from Ezekiel 37, which we all know very well, but it's verse 9, and I don't think that we often pull that verse out by itself. We normally look more at the bones. Can they live? Prophesy to the bones. But Ezekiel 37:9 says, "Then he said to me, prophesy unto the wind, and say to the wind, Thus saith the Lord God, Come from the four winds, O breath, upon these slain, that they may live." So this is talking about the four winds. The four winds encompass the whole earth, the whole creation that God has. And there are actually scriptures within the Bible that we can look at each wind, because the four winds are going to come from the four directions. And so we'll start with the east wind. Okay. So the east wind, it brings correction and judgment on the darkness. And you can look in Psalms 48:7 for a scriptural reference to that. I like to bring in the word to that just so you guys have something to go back to and know I'm not making things up. So the west wind brings in deliverance and mercy and justice. And you can look as a reference to Exodus 10 and I think I wrote down 9. I hope that's 10 and 9. If it's not, it's 10 and 19. But I think it's 10 and 9 about the locust, where he drove the locust out. And then the north wind is the presence of God. And that is a reference to bringing in rain. And that is Proverbs 25 and 23. And then the south wind is provision, prosperity, and restoration. And a reference for that is Zechariah 9:14 through 17. So see, he's got these four winds, and they all bring something different. And this is just like his people. All of his people bring something different. There's different diversities of people. There's different gifts, and there's different administrations of things. And what these do is they all work together to form the way that God would have things to be. So what he's doing right now is an Ezekiel moment. He is trying to raise up the army once again, the ones that have been laying in the valley, the dry bones. But he is using this wind to come. And all these things are happening at once. It's not just one thing happening and then one thing happening. They're actually all four coming at once. He says, prophesy to the four winds. So they all come at once, and they all bring these things of God to the body. And that's what's happening, is the body is waking up, and all these things are coming to the body. We're getting correction, judgment on darkness. We're having deliverance and mercy and justice. Yes, absolutely. And then the presence of God is coming in. And then also the provision, the prosperity, and the restoration upon the body. So all those things are coming in to form this great mighty army. And that is what is coming to us right now. And the Lord said to go ahead and release this, because sometimes we do not understand what is happening. But what it feels like sometimes is it feels like the best of times and it feels like the worst of times all wrapped up in one. But what is happening, as you see, is you have the four winds blowing at once. And you have the correction and the judgment, but then you also have the provision and mercy and all these things. And they're coming in to form what the body is supposed to be made up of. And he is laying a firm foundation for this body to rise up again. And that is what he has told me to give to the body this week. I hope that you get into this thing and you read about it and you pray about it and you find out what is going on, because there is getting ready to happen some of the most, I'm not sure what word to use, but unusual but great things at the same time. You'll see things like that's been happening. You'll see earthquakes, wildfires, tornadoes, hurricanes. You'll see all this, but then you'll also see the body raising up all at the same time and casting out demons and healing the sick and the lame. You'll see body parts growing. You'll see people that have been blind regain their sight. So that again is the worst times and the best times all at once. So as these four winds blow, get ready for the time of your life. This is a wonderful time to be alive, and you were chosen for such a time as this. So I will see you next week, and until then, have a blessed week.